Today on the Diz List, we count down the top 5 rides we would cut at Walt Disney World.
Welcome to the Diz List, the podcast that lists everything in Walt Disney World. I'm Nick.
And I'm Rob, and today we're counting down the top 5 rides we would cut. I had props for this. For those of you who are not watching us.
It was like 5 seconds. You turned around. I was like, what are you doing? We're starting.
Yeah. Well, because I knew I had a prop for this. And those of you who are just listening, you didn't see it. When I did the intro, I pulled out a pair of scissors and snipped to the camera. Maybe that's something we'll throw on Instagram or something.
So before we get to the news, Rob and we always get excited when we get a new patron. Usually I run over to his classroom or he comes to my classroom. Hey, we got a new patron. Did you see the message? Depending on who's free. This week we were on break, so
you didn't run all the way to my house. Although you could. We live almost on the same road.
Yeah. It's been a minute since I've run that far, but it's not
me
that
too.
far.
Which is ironic because both my kids are good runners. I am not.
I've always joked about like the people with the 26.2 stickers. How I want to just get one that says 0.0 or get one that's like, so in Europe, most of their servings of alcohol, like a bottle of beer, comes in like either like a 16.9 ounce or like 11.8 or something like that. So get one of those.
That's your bumper sticker.
Yeah. Or $7.50 for a liquor bottle. All right. So Jennifer wrote to us after I had welcomed her to the Diz List fam. And she said how she had come across our podcast and how she was looking forward to it. And then she sends this message and says, I'm not sure if you have done this, but an idea I'm kind of piggybacking from one of your recent podcasts where you said every ride is basically replaceable. So when I said no ride is untouchable. She said, I'm thinking you should do your top 5 rides you would change or remove. I wrote to her, I was like, apparently you have a crystal ball because in about an hour, I got that message this morning. It was like in about an hour, we were recording that episode.
Awesome.
So I thought that was pretty funny.
Well done.
We're a little delayed from our recording. I'm assuming that the reason Rob is wearing the hat he's wearing has something to do with the delay for that recording.
I am. I'm wearing my Buffalo Sabres hat. Tage Thompson is a Buffalo Sabre who played in today's USA versus Canada game. So our Canadian neighbors, it was an excellent game. I love the NHL. I love our friends from the North. So
I was fully prepared. If Team Canada won, I was going to switch shirts into my Canada Pavilion Figment shirt.
Well, I thought you would have put on your Bruins jersey because that's both. Because it's an American team, but I'm blanking on your Bruins player.
Charlie McAvoy. So there were two Bruins on, or 3. There are a couple Bruins on Team USA.
For?
Not the
Who's
one.
The guy you have the jersey for?
You're thinking of Brad Marchand.
Yes. He played in the Canadian team.
Yeah. He did. Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
he doesn't play for the Bruins
him
anymore. No, it was. I will say this for those of you who didn't watch, and those of you who maybe did watch but don't understand hockey fully. I can tell you unequivocally, as somebody who watches a lot of hockey, that was one crazy game, very fast paced.
It was amazing.
And I will say also that we had no business winning that game. USA had no business winning that game.
Well, if you look at shots on goal alone, or now I'm getting in the weeds. I'm starting talking about shots on goal.
I'm just saying, like, it was crazy.
Yes.
If you didn't watch it, you should go back and watch a replay now, and your heart won't necessarily stop a few times, like, because you'll know the result. But yeah, some crazy stuff.
I want to end with one comment my wife said. My wife said,
of course,
that this game was way more exciting than the Super Bowl. No offense to any of our football fan listeners, but it was the Super Bowl was a little boring this year. Even if, let's say, it was the Buffalo Bills, I would be like, it was kind of a boring game. This was so exciting.
I would say 75% of all regular season NHL games are more exciting. I mean,
Yeah, sure.
People were like, oh my gosh, in the gold medal game, you go and do that because Jack Hughes, the guy who scores the winning goal, has his teeth knocked out like probably 15 minutes
a couple plays earlier by Bennett.
Yeah. Didn't miss a shift. And I'm like, that's a normal game. Like, you people thinking that this is because it's the gold medal don't understand hockey players. You got to stop watching LeBron not play San Antonio because he's afraid to get embarrassed and start watching the NHL where guys literally lose teeth on one shift and go back out there and score a goal on the next. Anyhow, that's enough soccer or enough hockey. Sorry, I've got soccer on the brain too. Enough sports for the day. Let's talk about news at Disney.
Did you see the video for the new Tangled ride in Paris? It looks cool.
It does. Doesn't
it look cool?
It gives me a little bit of the vibes of Alien Swirling Saucers and Mater, but not with, it didn't look as whippy. Didn't look like,
it doesn't spin because I think you're in like the boat. So those of you who haven't seen the footage, it has picture the floor plan of either teacups or Alien Swirling Saucers or that Mater ride that's in California Adventure, where you're all sitting in like almost, it's not a perfectly rounded boat, but it's similar to the end of the movie Tangled, where all of the lanterns are flying around, and then that's the best part of it. Above, you have all the flying lanterns, and I hadn't seen any of this. I didn't even know this was coming. Maybe you did, but when they showed the footage from the ride, I was like, this is cool. It's a good all ages ride. I don't think I would get sick riding it because I do get sick on the teacups. So
yeah, you know where that would fit? Next to the Tangled bathrooms.
It would be perfect there. Yeah. Copy paste.
Anyway, yeah, I saw it. It did look pretty cool, honestly.
Yeah. Next, did you see the Haunted Mansion scrim that's up now? We talked about last week how it was all green scrim. Have you seen it now?
Oh, I did not see it now.
They printed the Haunted Mansion on the scrim. Yep.
Okay. I mean, that's a choice.
It's funny.
Here's the problem with that. That tells me it's going to be up there a lot longer than we thought.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
well, but can you imagine this family picture? Everyone's posed in front of this Haunted Mansion painting in front of the Haunted Mansion. I don't know.
I mean, that's easier than doing what they're doing with the Cinderella Castle. I mean, they're literally like painting in the morning and then tearing stuff down so that people can get their pictures later in the day.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Last bit of news. It's related, but not related. I might want to elaborate more on a future Patreon show because I know you'd be potentially interested in this. It's related to Muppets. One of my good friend of the show, my friend Steve, who I talk about a lot, friend from when I was little. Steve is a huge Muppet fan and went to New York City this weekend and went to the Museum of Moving Images, I think it is exactly. And they had this huge Jim Henson exhibit, and he sent me photos of him with Kermit and his friend with I can't even begin to say it. So Dark Crystal, Fraggle Rock,
one of my favorites.
Oh my gosh, all of them. Like, I'll get into it more. If people are really interested, let us know if you're interested in the Muppets, because I'm sure
Patreon.
Yeah, and I'm sure Steve wouldn't mind if I shared some of those photos too. I could put together something so if people wanted to watch Patreon instead of listen, because I know that's an option for our patrons as well. So let us know if that's something that you'd want to hear more about. He also, and this is the selling point here. So not only did he go there, but I think it was in Queens. It was in Queens or somewhere near Long Island there. He got to go into Jim Henson.
I'm not positive, but I think it's in Long Island City, which is part.
He got to go into the Jim Henson Creature Shop, which they've only opened twice. And he said tickets sold out in a day. Tickets were $150. And he got to go in and see some cool stuff, which we will talk about on a future Patreon. And again, I know you like the Muppets too, just like I do, but when you get a chance, make sure you watch the Muppets reboot too, because you're gonna, by watching the new, and this is pointed towards Nick and our listeners, is by watching that new Muppet Show reboot, that's your vote. That's you voting, yes, this is what I want to see more.
It was great.
So
it was great.
So go watch it. You good. You did see it. I didn't want to.
I just didn't have time
prior
to this week. Yeah. It's good. It's super tight. Like, well performed. I thought the length of it was perfect because it's not so long that kids are going to get board with it.
Mhm.
And it's, I thought it was really well done personally.
Well,
But-
and they picked the right person. I didn't really know much about Sabrina Carpenter until like the Grammys recently. She did a song. She's great. I'm a fan now, and I'm very picky when it comes to that pop music. Usually I'm like Statler and Waldorf when it comes to presenting new pop music to me. But she's really good. I was very impressed. I like that song.
Not even the music side of things, but like I
well.
thought she acted well, which is not easy to perform and act next to. Like, it's a puppet. It's not a person. It's easier. Like, I feel like it would be easier on like Saturday Night Live. You know what I mean? Because you're talking to people than it is to do it with like literal puppets. So,
well, especially with Miss Piggy. I mean, that's obviously it's Miss Piggy, but like,
right.
It's hard to go toe to toe with Miss Piggy. It really is.
Yeah, it was good. I don't really think there was a ton other news other than was it this week that the new Mandalorian trailer dropped?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have been on and on about hockey, so I would love to revisit that at another point.
Let's just mention that the fact that like we're both really excited for it. I don't ever go to the theater except for two very specific reasons. And that is new Marvel,
Star Wars,
that I don't want a spoiler.
Yep.
And new Star Wars because I don't want spoilers. Yeah. I feel like this might be one of the ones that gets me out of the house to go to the movies because
I think when that premieres, we'll probably have to drive up to AMC on like a Thursday
I'm not doing
night
it in town. I'm not doing it in town. Absolutely.
No, so we'll May or June.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. I'll get tickets for AMC, and as long as Tinseltown would be good too to see it at that's IMAX.
Yeah, they're doing it in IMAX too.
No, I
didn't know they were filming it in IMAX. Okay, cool.
Or does the resolution not as good?
It's specific. You have to like have the shooting done that way and production that way.
I thought you.
I mean, you could. I mean, I can put any old movie from the 1940s onto my HD TV and make it look really distorted.
Yeah, sure.
But you probably don't want to. So, all right. So we're going to head off to the halftime show. When we get back from the halftime show, we're going to be counting down the top 5 rides or attractions that we think could be cut from Walt Disney World. And we'll give you our reasons behind them. I have a suspicion it might be a little quicker in this episode. Of course, I say that and it'll end up being not quicker because I do think we will match up on some stuff here. Our halftime show, like always, is brought to you by our patrons. You can go to patreon.com/DizListPod. You can even join for free over there. If you want, for about the cost of a cup of coffee, you can join as a jungle skipper. You get early access to new episodes. You get bonus content every week. And then after 3 months, you'll get a mug. But we'll see you right after the break. Welcome back. I don't know if you've noticed or if you pay attention to the names on that list of patrons that we show at the halftime break there, Rob, but the Jennifers and Jennies are catching up to the Bryans. So to all you Bryans out there who are looking to possibly keep the lead as the biggest fans of the podcast, you need to tell your friends who are also named Bryans to join as patrons. And to you Jennifers, you're not that far behind.
We know
I don't know what it is, but like they keep coming through. We've got it's 4 or 5 different Bryans and 3 or 4 different. We need to get that to like 6 or 7 of them. What?
We have Chris's, and we have Chris's and Beth's. We have a lot of Beth's. We have a lot of Chris's.
We have a lot of Chris's.
We do.
And we have 3 we eat lunch with.
Yes.
Big, medium, and little.
And there's Chris's that
there's probably more than that. I don't know.
Probably is.
So what we want to talk about here in the second half are the top 5 rides that we think we could cut if Disney held a gun to us and said, you got to cut a ride. Mm-hmm. At first I thought about texting you and being like, let's just do 4 each, cut 1 at each park. Yeah. But then I was like, we're going to have the same exact list.
Well, then and the other thing too, Animal Kingdom has 7 rides at this point.
It doesn't mean you can't cut one of them.
No, I know.
The other thing that I thought was like, do we just do a joint list? And then I was like, nah, let's just do this. And
Yeah.
my rankings are pretty flexible. I mean, I have them ranked, but they're pretty
Me too.
flexible, especially the top 3. I feel could go anywhere.
So if you want, and I
have
say one,
specific
flex it.
reason.
Okay.
No, I'm what I'm saying is that my top 3 are flexible because I think they're the worst of the worst.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll get there when we get there.
Me too. Me too. And I wonder if they're going to be the same.
I bet you they are. So
Okay.
let's go ahead and we'll have you start with your number 5.
Number 5 features one of my favorite characters in Epcot. And you're already smiling. Yeah, features one of my favorite characters in Epcot. And this ride, it just sucks. And I love it because I love Figment so much. It's Journey into Imagination. And that ride used to be so great. I think because when I was little and rode it, it meant so much to me. Let's say they brought that exact ride back, the original Figment ride in the Imagination Pavilion, and had it exactly the same now. I wonder what everyone's thoughts would be. I think that change really just kind of ruined it. The graphics are like 1992. They're like even Toy Story digital animation. It's really bad. Everything about it is it's just so mediocre. And I love that character. It's just, it's like Indiana Jones in the Crystal Skull. It's just a great character in a bad movie. It's a great character in a bad ride. You know what I mean? So it's so tough. I love Figment, one of my favorite characters, but I got to cut that ride. It's just bad. Like they need to address that as soon as possible. Either fix it or I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I was worried when we did this list that we were going to be like, you were going to say your 5 and that was going to be my number 1. And then I was going to say my number 4 and that was going to be your number 2, those kinds of things.
Yeah.
My number 5 is Figment as well.
Yeah.
A Journey into Imagination. It's a ride I like, but I only like it because I like Figment. You know what I'm saying?
Too.
Like,
yeah,
I'll do it because I want to see Figment, but it's a bad Figment. It's like, here's one that is not on my list. However, it could be an honorable mention. And that is 3 Caballeros. Okay. So like that for me, I love Donald. It's not a good ride. It's not a good representation of Donald in the parks, but it's there, right? This is kind of that, but for Figment. I agree with you 100%. It's a great character. It's good IP that just isn't in the right spot or isn't in a good ride. I think what they need to do, and we've talked about this before, is just cut your losses, redo the whole ride. Inside Out 2 was huge. Make that whole Imagination Pavilion themed to Inside Out. You go in there, you make a ride that's Inside Out that also has Figment in it because they go together, and then have the meet and greet out there along with the meet and greet for Joy and Sadness. Call it a day.
Yeah. And when they redo that, make it very clear to the Disney fans that, hey, no, Figment's not going away. This is an Inside Out ride where Figment is featured as one of the characters. And I don't think that needs to be a surprise. I think it would be worse if they made the Inside Out announcement and kept it a surprise and then Figment's in it, because people would just be so upset. Like if I were Disney, I would just say, hey, we're redoing it. Figment's going to be in it. The end.
I do think we're in the minority for even liking Figment as much as we do. I get that he sells a lot of popcorn buckets. I get that he sells a lot of plushes. I think that if you heard that Figment, the ride, if the Journey into Imagination is going away, the people who clamor for the buckets, for the stuffies, for the pins, aren't on that ride all the time. I guarantee it. So I don't see them getting that crazy upset. But maybe. Who knows? So we both had number 5 as Journey into Imagination. You literally said everything I was going to say. So I agree with you wholeheartedly. What's your number 4?
Well, you just gave me a perfect alley-oop like you did the previous week, because you said Donald. And I mean, as much as I love Donald and I love the Mexican Pavilion, I love the food, I love everything about it, but Grand Fiesta Tour is my number 4. And I like Panchito. I love Jose. Those characters are great. But it goes back and forth between just like a cartoon on a screen to like Small World. It has like the characters are similar to like the Mary Blair Small World characters. It's fun and it fits, but I mean, if you're asking me to cut 5, there isn't really any thrill. I like it, but it's one for me you could cut and it wouldn't be the end of the world, you know. So could
it's
Donald,
like I said, solidly on my honorable mention.
Yeah. And I know
it's a good memory.
It doesn't mean I don't
it's
like it.
Right.
Doesn't mean I don't like it. I don't hate the ride. I mean, we have episodes where we're super negative and we don't like this for this reason. And, I love most of the rides at Disney. There's 1 or 2 on here that I do not like, and I will go hard as why I don't like them. This one, I mean, I like it. It's just if you cut it, I wouldn't cry. I put it that way.
I got you.
So I know you don't have that for 4 because it's your honorable mention. So you must have something different now.
I do. But before we move on, you said something and I want to correct something. I meant to bring it up in the first half of the show. I forgot to because this is where it belongs. Last week, we talked about Mary Blair, and you erroneously said that Mary Blair was a production designer on Sleeping Beauty, when in fact that was a different artist, and that it was actually Alice, and I forget the other one that she was a part of. And I just wanted to say we hear you because we got 2 comments on one of our reels, and they were correct. I mean, I can't remember the name of the artist who it was. I'll look it up really quick. I don't think I can pronounce it because it's one of those names. But so we did erroneously say that. And I don't know if you said Sleeping Beauty on accident, because I can see that possibly of having been something that happened where you meant to say Alice and said Sleeping Beauty. Those early movies, you know what I mean? That can happen. But I did want to say we heard you. Thank you for pointing out. And we love that when you guys tell us, what stuff we've messed up on. We want to know because we don't want to be spreading misinformation. I'll look it up and I'll let you. Is it Eyvind Earl? Eyvind Earl was the actual,
I believe you,
person for Sleeping Beauty. So I don't know, just throwing that out there. Not that I wanted to shame you, but because I wanted to point out that when people correct us on our comments, I'm looking and I'm glad you corrected us because we don't want to spread that misinformation. So thank you.
No, I agree with you.
My number 4 is one that we complain about. And we have complained about in the past. It's one that my wife and I were talking about this list, and she disagrees with me. And I'm going to tell you what her pick was at this point, and I'll tell you what mine is. I feel like mine is at number 4 is Astro Orbiter. My wife said, no, you should be getting rid of Magic Carpets. And so my reasoning is that Magic Carpets give something for little kids over on the other side of the park, like Dumbo gives in Storybook Circus.
Yeah.
So like you got the west side and the east side, I feel kind of split there. And then the carousel up the middle. Astro Orbiter, I don't get it, right? I understand the sight lines and the views, but if you want the sight lines and those views, get on People Mover and they change, and you're not going 100 miles an hour like that on the spinner. It's like borderline too aggressive. You wait in a weird line to go in this dirty, dungy, like dingy elevator thing that smells. It's a weird queue, because it's not a queue, whatever the heck it is. It's a weird like draw. There's always a line. I don't get it. Like, I don't know if it's because the elevator takes forever to get up or what.
It's weird.
It's weird. I mean, it's as a focal piece, like as an art piece, the middle of it that goes up through the middle, that's cool. As a ride, I don't get it. And so for me, that would go. Tomorrowland as a whole is not great right now, in my opinion. And that part that ride in particular just doesn't make sense to me.
Well, timing is good because I have that at 3. So I'm going to jump in here and talk about Astro Orbiter. I have done Astro Orbiter twice, I think, in my life. I did it once when I was younger, and I didn't really care about it. I think if that went away, it did go away. Remember, it was gone for a bit and they refurbished mysteriously
it overnight. Yeah.
Let's say they just put that back up as a tower. I think, is it a people eater? Sure. I mean, you have to look at it from like the business side or the side of park operations where it's going to take people up, and I guess that line is long. Like I'm sort of meandering because I'm trying to. It's just there's nothing about it I really like other than look, you can see the Contemporary. Oh, look, you can see Space Mountain. That's cool. But the whole time I'm up there, I'm like half a little bit nervous. Part of me feels like this rocket ship is just going to break off at any point. It sort of reminds me of a carnival ride. I don't know. I don't like it for any reason. So we definitely overlapped on that one.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
like,
I don't like it.
Hear you when people say, "Look, it goes faster." This was my wife's defense as to why it should be you get rid of the other spinner ride. She's like, it goes faster and the views are good. And it's like, yeah, so I guess it gives a little bit of thrill. And yeah, the views are good, but like those views can be had from the people mover. And as far as thrills go, if you're going on a spinner ride to get thrills, like hop in a teacup with one of our sons and you'll get just as thrilled, I promise. You'll throw up, but you'll get thrilled.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's yeah.
Well, it was
so
my
number
number 3.
three.
So we transitioned to your 3 now. Yeah.
I think we're going to line up a whole ton. I don't think that your number 3 will be my number 3 will be your number 2. I don't think, although it very well could be, just based on I know both of us don't necessarily like this. Mission space needs to go away. First off, like the simulator part of it, like, okay, that's cool. It's a good idea back when it was made, right? I feel like the technology's outdated. The whole centrifuge thing that, like, for the orange side makes it impossible if you have the least bit of like sensitivity to motion sickness to ride that ride. If you're claustrophobic, you don't want to ride either side. And the idea of the simulation, like, I get it, right? But the fascination with space is kind of gone. Like, that was built during a time when people were really, really interested in like mission to Mars and like all these different things. It's kind of like, if you listened to the most recent Disney Dish where they were talking about why we have Dino Land and why that came and why we didn't get Fantastical Beasts.
Right.
It really is just it was a race of like, hey, this is really popular at the time. Yes. Dinosaurs are popular because Jurassic Park came out and Universal is building this park with them. So we got to
do dinosaurs now.
Right. And then like with Mission Space, it was like, oh, okay, space travel is really, really popular right now amongst young boys. And we got to give the boys something other than the princesses. And I think, like, to me, there's other things they could go in there. You've ripped the Band-Aid off at Epcot for IP at this point.
Yeah.
Get something else in there. And look, it could still be space related. I just think that particular ride is not good. Just that's all there is to it. So that's my number 3.
It is on my list later. It's a little higher. It's a little higher.
Okay.
We'll transition to my number 2.
Okay. Yeah.
My number 2 is the ride system is totally and completely antiquated, and I don't understand why it hasn't been changed. And that is the Speedway. They're driving around on these gas powered cars that you could easily just throw a battery in the back. It would get quieter. You could easily theme it to something else, and it takes up a huge amount of real estate. That you have enough space there. I mean, no pun intended with space, but you could put in another coaster. There's already 2 coasters there. Do you need to put in a third? I don't know, but you could put in so much more and another big show building there, or just change it, theme it to something, theme it to one of your IPs, theme it to, we've said Wreck-It Ralph, we've said Cars before. There's a lot of different things that you could retheme that to, and it would instantly be a super popular ride. So the Speedway is my number 2.
My number 2 is...
That was a big, deep breath.
Yeah. My number 2, because I don't disagree with anything. It's tough for me to disagree with what you just said. My number 2 is a different mode of transportation. My number 2 is about a boat ride. In particular, a raft ride. And so you want to talk about real estate? Kali River Rapids.
Yeah.
Kali River Rapids is... So there's a portion of the year where it's not enjoyable to ride because it's too cold. Because believe it or not, Florida does get cold enough that you don't want to be soaking wet all the time. And during that time, they're often doing a refurbishment. Yeah, right. They're doing a refurbishment oftentimes during that time of year too. The message isn't completely clear. Now, I know what the message is, and I get it, but the message you were trying to send gets lost on tons of people. Trust me, that's about deforestation.
What's all this?
Yeah. And so, like, they don't necessarily understand what that has to do with. And it's a massive footprint. like, I understand the need, or not the need, the want for a water ride, right? Especially in that park, because it is hot.
Uh-huh.
But that water ride's aggressive. Like, it's
It
aggressively
is.
wet.
Yes.
And if you rethemed it, okay, I might be able to, like, if you did like a Jungle Book, or like something along the lines of like you're on a raft and you're in the jungle, and like using one of the Disney IPs, right? Cool. I might be able to get behind it. It's not a great ride. It's like in fact, I have been on better raft rides just like this at local parks. Like, I can tell
I
you
was just
for a
gonna say
fact,
that.
I prefer the one in Lake George at Great Escape. I prefer it to that raft ride. That raft ride is like aggressive with how wet you get. Like, other ones, you get wet. That one is like, if you happen to be sitting in the wrong spot, you're the person who draws the short straw every single time you go underneath a waterfall. Every
Yep.
single time. And you better not have a phone on you. You better take advantage of the free lockers right there. Like, it doesn't tell a great story. I understand what the story was supposed to be. I don't feel it executes. And so for me, number 2 is Cali River Rapids.
Well, and a lot of it too and Cali River Rapids is on my honorable mention. I've definitely thought about that one too. The thing with that ride is they're trying to educate people about, deforestation and but I think when you have younger kids on those rides, I mean, sure, an adult can explain it to a kid, but you're not going to have a long conversation in the middle of the ride. So, you kind of go through the beginning and you ride up, and then you see, all of the burned wood. And then a kid goes, "What is that? What is that?" And then the rest of the ride happens, and the kid gets off the ride and never remembers to say to the parent, "Hey, how come when we were on that ride, it looked like all the wood was burning?" Like, it's almost a lost opportunity that is just going to disappear because you're going to be so excited that someone's about to be soaked, and that part of your brain that was thinking about deforestation is now gone. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I feel.
Because
there
were definitely no trees anywhere on the entire property of Walt Disney World before. Like, they weren't like groves of trees. There weren't, right? Like, it misses the mark for me. We know what your number 1 is, by the way. So go ahead and tell us your number 1.
Mission Space.
Yeah.
And I redid Mission Space, or redid. I wrote it again, not my last time we were there, but the time before. My son wanted to do it. And, and when you go with your family and your kid wants to do something, yeah, sure, let's do it. So we did it. It wasn't terrible, but it was one of those rides where I don't need to do it again. I don't need to go back. At least like with Figment, if it's a short ride, if it's a short line, I don't mind getting in and just riding it, because it's not like a pain. Like, when I get on Mission Space, it's a pain because I have to, I have to strap myself in, and I feel claustrophobic, and I'm like 2-3 centimeters from that little screen. It's just uncomfortable. It's an experience that I don't necessarily enjoy. It was like something that happened versus, even, and I'll even give Kali River Rapids, besides the fact that you're getting soaked, at least you're moving around and it's kind of an adventure. Mission Space, it's like you're locked in watching an iPad.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
You're like in a baby car seat with an iPad in front of you. That's really all it is. I don't know. It's got to go.
Wrong.
But here's my only possible argument in the other direction is it's right next to the Wonders of Life Pavilion, which is not being used at all. And they're right next to each other where there's nothing and nothing. So you have, on the far right, you have Test Track. Then you have the Wonders of Life, which is empty. Then you have Mission Space. Then you have Cosmic Rewind, right? So there's things over on that side, but if you get rid of another thing on that end, there's still 2 heavy draws, but like, there's nothing in that Wonders of Life Pavilion. There needs to be something there,
Yeah, I mean,
it's so weird that they never decided to do anything there.
Well, I mean, they did. They did decide.
Space.
They decided
to play pavilion, and then it got cut. It's such a waste of space. It's a huge empty waste. I don't know.
And bring back Body Wars.
Well, if you at least look at like when they took out Stitch's Great Escape, for example, like that building, it's way too hard to go in and change that stuff around. And the rumor is there's asbestos that can't be disturbed. So that's why they're not removing any of that stuff. But when I look at that Wonders of Life pavilion, I mean, they still use it from time to time, which means that it's not like it's bad in there. Remember they redid the outside of it and the whole roof area. I've been in it recently. They had it open for it was either Flower and Garden or Food and Wine like 10 years ago. I feel like I know we went in there. We went in and used the bathroom, and I remember seeing the trees and stuff in there, and they had little booths set up. But have you ever actually been inside that building?
Well, I have, but it was way, way, way back when I did the crazy trip in high school or middle school, my 8th grade trip. We went to Orlando for 2 days, one whole day at SeaWorld. And then we did a split day between Universal and Epcot. So I've been in it, but it was because that was the only way they could justify sending a bunch of 8th graders to Florida was, hey, here's your educational day. You're going to go to SeaWorld for a behind the scenes tour of like their rehabilitation center. Then
Sure.
you're going to go to Epcot. We went to the American Pavilion because 8th grade you study American history. So I guess that's what we did. Went to American
Sure.
Pavilion. I remember doing Body Wars, and then we did Universal, and that was where we got to ride real ride. No, because we only had time for 2 things over in Epcot, and then we went to Universal for like rides. I remember specifically doing, is it King Kong or whatever that they used to have?
Yeah.
Or they still have it? So
they do in a different form.
And then E.T., I think maybe. I can't. That one I can't remember. I know I did Jaws. I did a King Kong thing, and then I think E.T. But my memory
Jaws was one of my favorites ever. I missed that one.
My number 1 has already been mentioned, and that was the reason I gave you the big sigh before I went to Kali River Rapids.
The long pause.
Orlando Speedway is so yesterday. It's not tomorrow. Like, here's the hilarity. My number 1 and number 2. So number 2 for me was Kali River Rapids, where they tell a story about deforestation and saving the planet.
And pollution.
And pollution. And then you go over to another park and you hop into one of, I don't know, 75 cars that are running on small engines that have like very little like clean energy like regulations on them, and you get a headache not just from the noise but from the fumes. How those cast members don't end up getting sick is beyond me.
I wouldn't want to work there. I was just gonna say that.
Like, you already mentioned it, right? We have talked a lot about how to retheme that ride. You know, one, I think that a Wreck-It Ralph would be cool there, but it really wouldn't match Tomorrowland. So I get that. You could change it into a Ralph Breaks the Internet ride, in which case maybe you could sell it a little bit more Tomorrowland because of the internet thing. But it just needs to go. It's not tomorrow. There's nothing about that's tomorrow, right? If you don't want it to be IP based, cool. You don't have to have it be IP based. Change the ride, if you don't want to change too much about it, change the vehicles to be something else. Like, somehow come up with a way that they're almost like hovering, right? They look like they're hovering. They're not, but they look like they're hovering.
Sure.
The kid still thinks they're driving it, and it's electric and it's quiet. I don't know, but it is not Tomorrowland. It is just absolutely horrendous how disgustingly stinky it is.
Yeah.
The footprint of that ride is massive.
Massive.
For what?
And it shrunk through the years, but it's still massive. The other way I thought of that you could retheme it is think about the way that they do the Skyliner, where they do the wraps, and it's a different IP for each wrap for each Skyliner car. What if each car was just a different Disney character? You know, and they're more your bigger Disney IP characters. And I'm not saying like cars, like, I got the Mickey car. I know
exactly
Daisy,
what you mean.
Or or even bring in the genie, like some of those bigger IP characters.
I have no problem with that, because you can if you want to try to sell me on the Tomorrowland appropriateness by saying these kids can't drive today, so they can drive tomorrow. Cool. And you slapped on that wrap, and you put a battery in the back and made it like, I shouldn't be able to go to my local golf club and hop into a more eco-friendly vehicle than I can at Disney. Like, every single golf club around the whole area down there is rocking electric golf carts. Why
Yeah.
are they still, those are golf cart engines in those things. Why are they still
And they
rocking
last
that?
a
Like,
while.
it stinks. Yeah. I mean, look, and before people in the comments come for me and say, you know, you talked about deforestation and all that stuff. Strip mining for the minerals and stuff to make these batteries is bad too. Okay, cool. Don't make it a car.
Mhm.
Get rid of it. Like, it's come up with a different ride system. Make it a magnetic ride system. I
Sure.
don't know.
Or
But like,
anything else there.
yeah, it can go. Yeah, I agree. I'm shocked it actually wasn't your number one. I get why it wasn't your number one because I mean your number one also like I said, my top three could all have been
Yeah,
anywhere in there.
Yeah, I had Astro
So,
Orbit. I mean,
yeah.
my 4 and 5 are Grand Fiesta and Journey into Imagination, which are rides I enjoy and will re-ride every time I go. These other 3 I just don't do because I don't want to. There's very few rides I don't want to do.
Correct. Yeah. I had one that I didn't put on here because it's not a ride, but it's an attraction. And I was like, man, this has got to go too. And that's the treehouse. Like,
yeah.
Like, why is that still there? There's a reason that it's so empty there. And I get it. That's not a big footprint. I understand that. But like the people who are going in that are all people like we might be the youngest. If we were to go stand in there right now, other than kids who begrudgingly are walking through it because their parents are making them, you and I might be the youngest people in that attraction who even know what the heck it's about. Even younger adults don't know that movie.
Well, here's a funny story. It's when we were there last time, we were waiting for our table to open up at Skipper Canteen, and the treehouse is directly across from Skipper Canteen. So my wife and my mother and my kids, they said, well, we're just waiting here. Let's just go walk through Swiss Family Treehouse. So as I was waiting, no one was in it. They walked all the way through and came right back out. I think it was maybe 8 minutes. They were back out. I go, how was it? They were like, oh, it's okay. I forgot what they saw something funny in it that they had a joke about, but it was, it's the queue to nowhere.
And here, I've been watching a lot of Disneyland Paris content lately. Long story, but just been watching a lot of Disneyland Paris content. And they are noted as having like really good walk-through attractions. And so like think Moana, but better. And it's like Disney can do it. It just hasn't done it here in this particular spot. I'm not saying that I want the Tarzan redo. I'm not saying I think that, but as an honorable mention, that's one that I would cut. And I would put it, if we were talking about all attractions, I'd put that one higher on my list than a few of the ones that are on my list. So,
sure.
I mean, that's just a thought there. Like, I think that would be solidly my number 3 if I had considered it among the things that would need to go. So
I thought about magic carpets. I know you brought that up earlier, but and it works. And I mean, your point was it's good for kids on that side of the park. It is. And I'll ride that. I mean, we maybe 50% of the time we're in the parks, we'll ride it just to do it. And I don't dislike it. It's kind of like, do you want to do Mission Space? No. Everyone gives it a hard no. Do you want to do magic carpets? Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
and it's kind of like the same thing with Nemo. Like Nemo's okay. Nemo's a little cheesy, but you get to see some actual marine life, which is nice. And I had Kali River Rapids on my list.
Yeah.
But I mean, let's see. I don't really think I had anything else besides that. No. I mean, I would
most
say
of the
rides.
Nemo in its current state is cuttable. Nemo, if they kind of go back through and fix the things that aren't working right now, I would take that. I think because the ride system and like the way you actually go through and see, you kind of are going through the aquarium a little bit. I think that's kind of cool.
And that part's okay. Yeah.
But yeah,
that's why it's not on my list.
Yeah. I can't think of any other ones. And once I got through my top 3, I was like, what do I do now? And then I was like, okay, there are others, but my top 3 are like, there's the top 3 and then there's the bottom 2.
Other stuff. Yeah. Yep. Me too.
Yep. And I'm like you, like I'll ride even Journey, like that pained me to put that on the list. But if I'm being real, like, just like you said, if we're being real with ourselves about that, they're kind of doing Figment dirty with that ride.
Yeah.
Cause it's not that great. So
I ride it every time. Every time we're there, I go on it, and the song is fun. Keep the song. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah. Hey, so this week on Patreon, we're going to be recording an episode about kind of a comment that was made by a former CEO, Mr. Michael Eisner, about the cost of Disney. And I want to get Rob's reaction a little bit about that. And we're going to talk about that. So if you are interested in that, you should head over to patreon.com/DizListPod and give us a follow and join as a Jungle Skipper, and you'll be able to get that content. We also, when we do those, we do some other fun stuff like the favorite fix or flattens, which I've gotten a request that we do some more of those. So I know that Rob is never wanted to be
games.
Like, I don't want to do that.
No. I love games. I love trivia. All that stuff is fun.
So we will
love it.
And we'll do some fun stuff over there. Mm-hmm. So if you haven't gone over there to follow us, be sure to do that. Also, on pretty much every social media platform, we are at DizListPod. You can find us on YouTube that way as well. We'd appreciate a follow there. And for those of you who are patrons and who have been pushing us to your friends and like kind of saying, hey, check these guys out, we really and truly appreciate it, because we've seen a definite uptick in listens and views and all those wonderful things. So thank you so much. But it's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow, and tomorrow's just a list away.
Tune in next time, and we'll see you real soon.